Not sure if I'm broadcasting, guys, so give me a minute. Hey, guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm your host, Dieter Burrell. I am an architect here out of Pensacola, Florida. I'm also a realtor licensed in the state of Florida. Now, I wanted to share with you guys a couple of things that I came across just recently, and I got this from other sources. One being from realtor.com, and but let's hold off on kind of looking at that. What I wanted to do on this live broadcast was to kind of give you guys a little bit of an insight as to why you've been seeing so many uploads from me on shorts. I wanted to kind of test the waters as far as who's watching what and what's trending out there. I noticed a lot of you guys kind of get a good reaction out of what people broadcast about Joe Rogan, and I see a lot more guys kind of leaning towards that and listening to what Joe has to say. And it kind of makes me wonder, what is it about Joe that makes and attracts people to listen to him? Is it just the fact that he's just an average person, kind of has that personality, very intelligent individual, kind of brings some facts, details, and has really interesting guests that come in and talk about just common topics, questions that kind of come up, and things that makes you want to think. It's I think it's important to make people think and make people question things. So you'll see a lot of my posts, and of course, you're probably wondering, because I get a lot of this, like, "Hey, this isn't your topic." It's like, "Hey, Kyle, what's going on, dude?" I'm trying this out. This first time I'm kind of doing a live video feed, but I'm trying to get a reaction from people because I'm getting a lot of reactions. I've been posting a lot of shorts, and for people that are out there and wondering, say, "Hey, this isn't typically what you post." It's like, if you're in architecture and you're real estate, but in reality, I think everything impacts people that surrounds them. I'm a big Joe Rogan fan. I'm a big. I follow a lot of political news that comes to us. We have discussions at the house. You know, I think I'm also I'm a Florida Gator. I graduated from the university. I'm a big sports fan. So I don't talk about all the other things that kind of influence me. That's why my channel, my YouTube channel, is mostly focused in how real estate, how construction, how architects are being influenced, things about architecture that other channels are not talking about. I mean, and there's some really pretty channels about architects, and they have ways and how they go about doing things and all that other stuff. I also do a podcast. It's the for you guys that catch this thing as a recording, it's the T Squared Down Brown Bags podcast, and you can catch us on Spotify and a couple other streamers, podcast streaming channels. And but in reality, we talk about more of like how the architecture and the profession impacts us as fathers, and as you're growing, you're developing as intern architects into the field of architecture. And not only that, but we also talk about things that impact us professionally. Like there is that personal development, personal relationships. How to manage people, how the poor managers impact other people. And I don't want to kind of create a double scenario where I have a YouTube channel, which it could be a plus, it could be a benefit for a lot of you guys, but um we already have a podcast, and we're trying to work two different thoughts out and two different ideas in pathways as far as, but I like intermingling because there is an impact that happens to me internally. I mean, I think politically, economically, and the environment. And I think there's some social aspects, like I think I would say Joe touches on a lot of that kind of same stuff, that it touches everyone. I think it impacts everybody. There's certain phrases that or quotes that I heard on Joe's podcast that kind of made me think. It's like I think I posted one quote. It's like I think about the man live. There's men live in quiet desperation. I mean, that's a hard. It hit me because I've been in that situation where you kind of feel like, is this as good as it gets? Is there more out there to do? Should I be kind of looking to get out of the situation I'm at, or it's like, am I just doomed for to do what I'm going to be doing for the rest of my life, which is just a plain Jane job that I don't like. But anyways, those are the things that kind of make it hits you. I think in politics, we have President Biden, which impacts us. The decisions of uh, that our party is the party that right now is in power is impacting us not only in the economic sense, but also in health. You guys just saw, what's been happening, and I'm not going to get into the weeds of it in this upload, but it's like there's all kinds of things that are. I don't want to get into the details of it, but I think what's important for a lot of people is to understand that an architect, in a sense of people that are creative and people that are being influenced by the economics of the world. You see what's happening in Ukraine, you see what's happening in Russia. You hear the news about what's happening in Japan, Sri Lanka, and all these other places. I mean, there's impacts that happens that has a domino effect, and I think as a human being that lives in the world today, you can kind of see how, you know, electric vehicles, for example, would be another thing. It's like, what is the impact? I mean, why is the government allowing for the gas prices to go up so fast, so quickly when, the plan is, I think it's a 10, 15 year plan, to 2030 something. I forgot what the details are. And I already just heard that England has some sort of like plan to remove all, I guess what they call ice cars, which is like the old gas cars, to get rid of them by 2040, 2050. I don't know what the number is exactly, but there are like there's agendas behind decisions that are being made. you know uh, our president today is kind of just making all these decisions, and I think the agenda is impacting very smart, very smart and wise, careful decisions that are affecting us. I mean, food prices, gas prices, construction, lumber, transportation, construction. I mean, think about what, you probably don't think about this, but a lot of stuff that's made is made with some sort of petroleum based product. Roofing materials are made out of some sort of petroleum based product. Materials, some plastics are made of some petroleum products. Roadways, repairs on roadways. Um, all kinds of stuff impacts us. Anyways, guys, that's why you've been seeing me post a lot of these shorts, and there are things that I find interesting, and it's like, look at this. And of course, there's some other stuff that impacts us when you hear about people dying, famous actors that pass away, that really impacted your life, your career, your decisions. Movies, I think movies, in a way, all of us are impacted by movies one way or another. I think we have the creative, fun movies, and then we have the semi-realistic movies, personalities, characters that are in movies. I think they all impact you in some form or fashion. So you may think that I'm like vomiting a lot of these shorts, but in reality, these are things that I find interesting, that I like sharing with other folks, and then you may not share the same thoughts I have in some situations. You know, I mean, there's times that you feel embarrassed for some of the things that are being done and said by our president. That and it's like, and there's like that lack of like confidence that you feel like you don't want that. It's like, and Trump did what he did, and acted what he acted and said what he said. I think, you know the, he stirred the pot, and I think that needs to. I think we need to have and that's why it's so vital to have presidents every 4 years, or to change. That's what makes America challenging, and I think everybody needs to be challenged, and I think things need to be challenged. It's a checks and balance. So we need to have that checks and balance. One thing I wanted to share with you guys today, again, like I had just seen a YouTuber. He had posted a great video, and he touched on a couple of things that I read fairly quickly, and it was from the Realtor.com website, and he touched on something that had to do. It hurt to hear this, because I'm not gonna let his video play. But what I wanted to go look was the article. There's a couple articles that he touched on, and one of them was, which was kind of like, I think a lot of folks, and I'm gonna put myself in that same situation, is that we work these jobs, and we're trying to save our pennies, and we're trying to better ourselves, buy a house, make a living. Here, perfect article, and I'm gonna pull it up real quick so you can kind of see it. Um, it is from FloridaRealtors.com, and it talks about. Let me see if I can kind of pull my microphone, because I realized in a few of my videos you guys couldn't hear me. So now, again, this is the weekend, and I'm kind of trying something new, guys. So if you guys bear with me, it says making $65,000, you can't afford a typical house. So the article in the gist of the article is, you're having to spend more out of your earnings to live in a nice house. And here's another article that kind of dominoes into what is really happening, and it's a lot of investment companies, especially in real estate investment companies. They're spending millions. I mean, more than millions, buying properties. And this one is also from the Florida Realtor.com website. 1 in 10 Orlando homes sell to investment firms, and this is not just happening here. It's actually happening from East Coast to West Coast. And I was just having a conversation with my wife, and we were talking about, the joke was this: we saw a couple of houses in our neighborhood, and we kept seeing cars come in. And I go, well, who are these folks that are they visiting? Are they? I mean, I know we knew one house, Miss McGowan's house. A lady passed away a little bit ago, and the house went for sale. And we kept seeing these cars, and they kept changing. And then we recently found out from some friends that they had rented that house. It was an Airbnb, and I kind of was sitting there shocked, and I was like, no wonder I kept seeing so many different people